Everybody to my channel Digi Learners. I am going to present my fourth video on political obligation, that is the theories of political obligation. Myself Jagannath Ponda, a lecturer in political science, Hilltop Degree College Mohana, to present the video lesson or some PowerPoint project presentation for the benefit of the students and other scholars. So I have already presented 3 videos on political obligation. The present video is about different theories of political obligation. Now we shall discuss about different theories of political obligation. So there are different theory which is advocated by the different political thinkers about the political obligation. So why the people obey the state? So they propounded a number of theories. First of all, we shall discuss about a theory, that is divine right theory. Divine right theory is one of the earliest theory of political obligation. This theory advocates that the state was created by God and governed by his deputy, the king. The ruler was divinely appointed by the God, and he was the agent of God, and he was responsible for his actions to God alone. As ruler was deputy to God, obedience to him was held to be a religious duty, and disobedience is sin. His words was law, and his actions were always just and benevolent. James Stuart Fast, the King of England, in his book The Loss of Free Monarchies, enunciated the doctrine of divine right of the king. It was believed that the obedience to the king amounted to loyalty to God, because the ruler is a representative of God on the earth. He should be obeyed totally without any questioning his action or authority. All the religions believe that God has instituted government because people needed it. The divine right theory is not free from criticism. Some of the political thinkers criticize the divine right theory of political obligation. The divine right theory has been criticized by several political thinkers on different points of view. Firstly, the social contractual thinkers like Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and other modern political thinkers rejected the divine right theory. They held that the state was a creation of a collective human will, not a divine creation. Secondly, no historical evidence. This theory is criticized that there has been no historical evidence of formation of state by the God. Thirdly, illogical and unscientific. The divine right theory is criticized on the ground that it is illogical and unscientific. There is no logic behind the divine right theory, and this theory is also unscientific. The second theory of political obligation is force theory. The force theory of political obligation states that the state came into existence as a product of war, which resulted into subjugation, domination of people of a defeated tribe by victorious tribe. The leader of the last victorious tribe declared himself to be the king of the state, which he subjugated by war or by domination. The authority of the ruler of the state is based upon the principles of might is right. In this way, political obligation is based on the fear to the ruler. The individual or the people obey the law due to fear. The power of the ruler to impose his will and his power to punish person held guilty of obedience. So, force theory is also criticized. So, there is some disadvantage of this theory. The force theory has been criticized by several political thinkers on some grounds or on some point of view. Firstly, force is dangerous as it is based on principles of might is right. Secondly, force theory involves the theme of war, fear and domination. Next, we shall switch over to next theory of political obligation, that is consent or social contract theory. The social contract theory is one of the popular theory of political obligation. This theory states that the authority of the state is based on consent of the people and sanction of political obligation is in the will of the people. People has made a contract with a person or body of persons under which that person body receive authority in return the sovereign power to rule the people. Thomas Hobbes, John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau are the chief exponent of the social contract theory. Now we shall discuss about the views of these three political controversial theorists about the political obligation. First of all, we shall discuss about views of Thomas Hobbes. The social contract was made by the people in the pre-social and pre-political state of nature for securing the security of life, liberty against anarchy and perpetual war, which characterized the state of nature. Every person surrendered his power to govern himself to a body of persons or a third person who becomes sovereign and got power to rule and command obedience of all the people. It becomes a duty of all persons to obey the command of the sovereign. According to Thomas Hobbes, political obligation rests upon the consent of the people, and but the people do not enjoy power to revolt against the ruler or against the body of the sovereign. Then we shall discuss about views of John Locke about the social contract theory on political obligation. John Locke rejected the proposition of Thomas Hobbes' view on pre-social and pre-political of state of nature. John Locke says that the people enter into two contracts, that is social contract and or civil contract and political contract. The civil contract, the people got together to create their collective, that is community, which came to enjoy all power of the people, or they enjoy power, the sovereignty of the people, sovereign power of the people from the people. The second contract is a political contract, was made by the community with a group of people who were to use political power on behalf of community. These two contracts were based on the consent of people. The consent of people was the real basis of political obligation. According to John Locke, the people enjoy right to revolt against the ruler, government or any of its organ in case it fails to act according to their condition of contract or not acting according to the consent of people. Next we shall switch over to the view of Jean-Jacques Rousseau about the social contract theory on political obligation. According to Rousseau, the state came into existence by virtue of social contract among the people for ending the state of nature. The real will of all become the collective and common will of all, that is general will. The people began obeying the state as it meant obeying their own general will, that is real will of all. Rousseau held that popular consent, popular sovereignty, free will, general will together got act as the basis of political obligation. Though social contract theory is popular, it is not free from criticism. The social contract theory has been criticized by several modern political thinkers on different points of view. Firstly, the state is not a artificial organization and or not a machine. The social contractualist made the state as a machine or an organization, artificial organization. The state is natural, it is not artificial. Secondly, no historical evidence or any existence of making such a contract. So we cannot find in the history there was no any historical evidence about creation of a state on the basis of social contract. Thirdly, the people do not ensure the in political obligation to the state for what the state forefather made a consent. So this theory is invalid and unacceptable. Then we shall switch over to next theory, that is the prescriptive theory of political obligation. The prescriptive theory is otherwise known as the traditional or conservative theory of political obligation. Political authority is based on principles of established tradition or custom or convention. The persons or individual born in a state accept and follow the tradition and customs and convention of that state. The people obey the laws of the state because the act of obedience has become like a well-established convention. All authority is legitimate if it is sanctioned by the custom. Now we shall discuss about some of the political thinkers who supported the prescriptive theory of political obligation. They are Edmund Burke of 18th century, the 19th century jurist John Austin, and historian Henry Maine, and 20th century Michael Oxford held that obedience to the state rests upon the custom and traditions of the society. Then we shall discuss about idealistic theory of political obligation. 19th century German philosopher Hegel was the chief exponent of idealist theory of political obligation. He explained political obligation towards the state and laws as the highest moral and solemn duty of each person. He defines it. When the individual obeys the state, he essentially obeys the highest morality, and in the process he enjoys his full freedom. The state is the creator of all value, morality, right, and freedom and duty of each individual to obey the state. Idealist theory is not free from criticism. This theory is very dangerous, by which any despot or dictator can use it for imposing this will as the will of the state. The despot may demand unlimited and unconditional obedience of the people. Now we shall switch up the next theory of political obligation, that is the utilitarian theory. In 19th century, the great English jurist Jeremy Bentham propounded the utilitarian theory of political obligation. The state shall achieve the greatest happiness to greatest number. The people who derive the utility from the state shall be obliged to obey the law. The people obey the law because the state provides highest utility, the greatest happiness to greatest number. So, next theory is the Marxian theory of political obligation. Karl Marx is the father of socialism and father of communism. He propounded a theory, or he has views on political obligation, why the people obey the state, or on the state to the state, how, when they obey the state, when they disobey the state. According to Karl Marx, the state is the ruled by the state is ruled by the so the state is ruled by the state is ruled by the capitalist class or the bourgeois. So there is the expectation of bourgeois capitalist class over the proletariat. So the workers, proletarians, the poor has no right to obey or oblige the state, which is a bourgeois state. This is the view of Karl Marx. So in this chapter, the political vision, I have prepared some notes or model question and answer for the benefit of the students for the coming examination of different university for second semester paper 3. So it is valuable. Then I also prepared some short questions from this chapter. So this short question consists of within 75 words and which carries 3 marks of each question. So this is very valuable for the students and they have to note down these notes and prepare for the examination. Thank you very much. Then I again inform you or request you to subscribe my channel for your further motivation for